I'd like to do a check-in here. I'm currently in Taos for what ended up being a 2-day weekend for Santa Fe Brewing event for the Alison Krauss concert. So I was working on the event staff for that. The night before, I left to drive up to Taos, which is, by the way, the longest drive I've ever taken by myself, and the farthest I've ever been away from all the people I know. I came to the realization the night before that I had grown up in a single-family cult. And even now, it sounds a little bit silly saying those words out loud and seeing my face in the camera as I say them. But I drove all the way up here to Taos on my own, which was already a big enough achievement for me. And then I spent 2 days socializing regularly with people who were not raised in a single-family cult. And it was exposure therapy, and I knew it would be exposure therapy. And it has all turned into this massive breakthrough of finally actually steering my own life. So, now that the weekend is over, and I spent lots of time with everybody else, the official work aspect of this trip is over. So, part of the revelation that I had that I grew up in a single-family cult was the fact that I never got a diploma or a GED because I never actually went to high school. And the homeschooling that I did receive was, as I've always put it, unconventional, but that's about the nicest way to describe it. I was only officially taught, one subject, and it was math. We spent all day, every day, except for Saturdays and Sundays, doing math homework. That was my education growing up. I grew up with 2 brothers, and it turns out that math is the one subject that we're bad at. Except for my younger brother, but he's found his own ways of really loving math and the way that his brain works, so he's taken off on his own for that. But again, the only reason he's good at it is because he actually pursued it himself. I'm really proud of him. He was in the same situation as me, 3 years younger, but he didn't get the brunt of what my older brother got, or even trickling down what I got, being the middle child. So he got the least severe degree of the cult mentality. He stopped school earlier than the rest of us did, and so he found his own way into actually being really good at math and really enjoying it, and he's one of those people that'll just explain mathematical concepts to you like it's his favorite thing in the world. And I love that for him. He's taking free courses at Harvard for computer coding because he wants to make video games. Nobody asked him to do that, and I was the first person he told just casually. So I'm really proud of him for doing that. On my end of things, I'm the only one of my 2 brothers that has ever held an actual JOB job. So I've been in the workforce now for like 4 years. I started working, actually officially, at a real job when I was 21. And it took a lot of mental gymnastics to get my parents on board with that. That all being said, I never got my GED or diploma because I pretty much literally didn't go to school when I was a kid. And all of the subjects that I'm good in, and all of the qualities I have, and all of the things that I know are either self-taught through YouTube and online, or because I asked somebody to teach me or have on-the-job training. So, I have the last part of my TABE test for getting my GED scheduled for 1 p.m. And I needed to take a moment to tell somebody, even if it's in a long video format, that I drove all the way up to Taos on my own, which is a 2-hour drive from where I started. It's the farthest I've ever driven, and the longest I've ever been away from everybody I know, which is 2.5 days. I drove all the way up here by myself. I bunked down with people I didn't really know, but trusted on a work trip. I spent the weekend with them, and now that I'm all on my own, I am driving myself to a Wi-Fi cafe so that I can sit on my laptop and take the last part of my test so I can get my GED. This is important because it's the first real solo trip I've ever taken. This is my first trip I've ever taken alone. I'm 25. And I needed to explain that. I needed to talk to somebody about that because it's significant in ways that seem pretty minor to a lot of people. But for me, this is actually incredible. So I'm gonna go get some coffee now and hook my laptop up to Wi-Fi so I can start a Zoom call so I can take my language section of my TABE test so I can start getting my GED. So that's where we are with it.